This podcast is part of the It Was a Thing on TV podcast network.
A quarter cup at a time. A thin stream. It's supposed to be a thin stream. Blend it really well, or you'll burn it. David, that's not right.
Okay, well, that's because I'm ladling and stirring at the same time, and you're just standing there.
Now's not the time to lose focus, darling.
This was your idea. You're the one who allegedly made the enchiladas.
Yes, so try to keep up. Okay, next. Now's the time to sprinkle in the chili pepper flakes.
We've already done that.
What number are we on?
Oh my God, is this not your mother's recipe?
Yes, and now I'm passing it on to you. So try to keep up. Next step is to fold in the cheese.
What does that mean? What does fold in the cheese mean?
He folds it in.
I understand that, but how do you fold it? Do you fold it in half like a piece of paper and drop it in the pot, or what do you do?
David, I cannot show you everything.
Okay, well, can you show me one thing?
Here's what you do. You just fold it in.
Okay, I don't know how to fold broken cheese like that.
And I don't know how to be any clearer. You take that thing that's in your hand, and you...
If you say fold in one more time...
It says fold it in!
This is your recipe! You fold in the cheese then!
Don't you dare!
You fold it in!
David! Oh, good. Now I see bubbles. David! What does burning smell like?
Mr. Clifford?
That's right.
Lamont Sanford.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll take that. Would you please be seated? First of all, let me ask you a few questions, Mr. Sanford.
Sanford.
What's your educational background?
Well, I was working towards my PhD, but I didn't quite complete it.
I see. How far did you get?
About the 10th grade.
Okay. What was your last job?
Well, I was in commodities, Mr. Clifford.
Commodity. Could you clarify that a little?
Well, you see, I was the head collector. I collected things that ordinary people don't recognize as being valuable.
You mean discarded objects?
In a manner of speaking.
Are you trying to tell me that you're a junk man?
Well, actually, that's what I was trying not to tell you.
Well, let's see if you're qualified for unemployment compensation.
Unemployment compensation? Well, Mr. Clifford, I came in here to look for a job. Now, there's no reason why an able-bodied man can't find a decent job in this land of opportunity. Now, I'm here to tell you, Mr. Clifford, that I'm prepared to roll up my sleeves and go to work. Now, I don't have to depend on a mere handout of $65 a week.
It's 75.
It is.
Rest in peace to both Catherine O'Hara and Demond Wilson. An anthology on the bad, the short-lived, and the forgotten shows and events in television history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
No, that's it. I'm not modeling anymore for the two of you. Well, I guess I just have my first taste of the filthy side of this business. You're doing great. Need I remind you, sirs, I am a male model, not a male prostitute.
Episode 606, submission number 2216, Monday Night Quarterback. Monday Night Quarterback was an unsold pilot that was recorded probably late 1970 or early 1971 for syndication. Guys, in case you didn't notice on the schedule, about 5 days from the time this gets released, we have the 60th edition of a little AFC-NFC rivalry game. Or maybe I should say the AFL and NFL Bowl, if you want to go pre-merger back in like 67, 68, 69, 67, and 69.
Happy 69!
Just get all those goofy numbers out of the way. But we do have the 60th big game coming up. We're not going to use the official name because, even though there's probably a 1 in a million chance we get sued, I'm not taking that chance.
Well, I'm going to say it's Super Bowl.
Sue him.
No.
I didn't say it. Sue him.
They only go after you if you're a business, Mike.
Trust me, we're not a business because how much money have we made in 6.5 years? Diddly squadoosh.
None.
Well, admittedly, that's on me because I don't want to put advertising in here because, our nice little conversation, our podcast flows without 2 minutes of boner pill ads or promoting some conspiracy podcast or some true murder podcast. No, we want to give you all the information without any sort of filler. You're welcome.
And besides that, everybody knows that anything that is advertised by a content creator will break down within 2 weeks.
Given that theory, how about we advertise the New England Patriots for the big game? It's not a bad idea. If you're saying they're going to break down within 2 weeks, why not have it on the biggest stage in the world? Seattle, 78 points. New England, I'll give them credit for a safety. 2 points.
Hey, listen, as long as the grandson of Dick Hammer finally gets what he rightfully deserves after Mike McCagnon didn't give him shit with an offensive line, then goddamn it, I'm going to celebrate it. I hope it happens.
I hope it happens too, because as I've said primarily to my students for the last 2 weeks, the Patriots are a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Yes, come write me. I challenge you. Go in my DMs and tell me I'm wrong. But the Patriots, and this has been shown, they had one of the 5 weakest schedules in the big game era history. So over the last 60 years. One of the 5 weakest schedules. That's 1 week schedule every 12 years out of 30 teams. So that's like 360 teams. They're literally like in that 0.03% of cake schedules ever. They're going to get their comeuppance on Sunday. I'm just saying.
We hope.
Oh, gosh, we hope. Yes.
Now, we're not here to talk about the game on Sunday. We're here to talk about this pilot.
If you go back, as we said, to like 1970, 71, this was a big era in football. You had the big game having premiered probably 4 years, 5 years earlier. As I sort of alluded to earlier, the AFL and NFL merger happened in 70, so the timing was really perfect. Now you're incorporating these 2 leagues into one, and now you've got however many teams they had at that point, 24, 20, 22, whatever it is. So now you have more competition, and you've got the old AFL teams going against the NFL teams. It was a new era in football. So I'm guessing maybe Bob Stewart, that Bob Stewart who did Pyramid and other shows, primarily word games, he was the man behind this. Bob Stewart may have seen this new sort of metamorphosis in football and said, hey, let's develop a game around it. And really, the game is just essentially calling football plays, making predictions about what's going to happen next with games that had already been played. Mind you, back in 1970, 71, you didn't have the wide coverage the NFL has nowadays. There was no Sunday ticket, naturally. Yeah, you did get games on Sunday afternoon. This would have been the first year, 1970, of Monday Night Football. So you didn't have the availability to watch football as we do now 55 years later. 2 people, a celebrity and a football player, a pro football player, would do this game of predictions. The 2 teams in this episode, you had Dick Martin of Ronan Martin fame. So he's on a real high peak right now in his career. And you had with him John Hadle of the San Diego Chargers. And John Hadle was the quarterback of the San Diego Chargers at this point. So he would have been probably right before Dan Fouts. I think Fouts started about 72 or 73. But John Hadle was no bum in his own right. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler. That ain't hay. Threw for over 33,000 yards in his career. Had more interceptions than touchdowns in his career. How about that? 268 interceptions to 244 touchdowns.
I think name, if I'm not mistaken, has more interceptions than touchdowns in his career.
It's very possible. I don't know the stats off the top of my head. It wouldn't surprise me, though, because, and I say this with all due respect to the Jets and to you, Joe Namath didn't have much of a career outside of the big game 3. Well, I mean, he went to the Rams, didn't do much with the Rams. He sold pantyhose. He did the Waverly Wonders. Yeah, like I said, I think in the grand scheme of things, he didn't do as much as maybe people think he did. Again, Jets fans, not named Greg, DM me. I dare you.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
Okay, good. We agree on something for the first time in 6.5 years. Cool. John Hadle did pass away in 2022 at age 82.
Oh.
Well, and that's one thing that I'm keeping in mind is when we're talking about these people, this recorded some 55 years ago, and you're talking about people who started playing generally in the 60s. I don't think you'd have any rookie players in 1970 participating in this. So these people started their NFL careers literally 60 years ago. So that means nowadays, if they're still around, they're probably in the range of, at the youngest, probably about 83 or 84. So it's not surprising that John Hadle is not with us. But the person on the other side is still with us in terms of the football player. The celebrity on the other team was Peter Lawford. And this is sort of the post-Rat Pack era. Peter Lawford needs to make money going on TV shows, game shows, talk shows. He's not cool with Bing and Frank and Sammy anymore. Something like that.
What about Dean?
Well, okay, I didn't include Dean just because his name didn't come into the top of my head. But actually, I should have remembered about Dean because... No. I'm getting my Dean and my Bing mixed up. I was going to talk about Sweet Valencia Oranges, but and then him beating Gary Crosby with them.
My God!
What?
I was just saying, that was pretty dark.
Well, you want me to get darker? You know who else got beat by Sweet Valencia Oranges? Say it!
What? Oh, Cesar Romero.
Yeah, well, maybe he didn't get beat with them, but maybe he wanted to. I don't know.
You know what's hilarious? Kiesel was with Chico. And can you imagine her White House here talking about Dean Barton and Valencia Oranges and Bing Crosby? I can't believe you had to turn your video off, Chico, for this. Jeez.
Is that really the reason he turned his video off?
I guess.
Let's just say this is a very open house. And I am on an internet video. And I'm just happy that this is not a video podcast because there are children who watch this and there are some things you don't need to see.
Put your fucking pants on. Or worse, we're assuming we're talking about Chico here. Maybe, no, I'm not going to say anything bad about Kiesel because she's an absolute angel.
Mike calls you an angel, by the way.
Oh, great! Oh, gosh. I'm glad I didn't get into Kiesel's bad graces or anything. Kiesel's adorable. Maybe she needs to put pants on. I don't know.
Was he adorable?
Well, some people thought so.
Kiesel, I got a question. Are you ready in our next episode to hear Reggie White do stand-up?
Greg wants to know if you're ready to hear Reggie White do stand-up.
Who's Reggie White?
The Minister of Defense.
Oh, shit. Him?
Oh, shit, him.
Living, breathing, walking, stand up. I don't...
Now, hold on. Greg sort of jumped in there ahead of me, which I don't mind. But what did Kiesel say? She said something about somebody who was adorable or something, or something was adorable?
You called her an angel.
Uh-huh.
And she says, well, Lucifer was an angel too, you know.
Oh, now, hold on. I thought she was going to say something nice about one of us, but okay, that's fair.
Mike, I happen to know for a fact that she thinks you're adorable.
Well, fuck, I'm going to need to make a flight down to Fayetteville and surprise somebody. Go walk up to the Alexander house, strut my stuff, and,
Like, sup? You could be all like gritty. It's like, hey, now that you're single, sup?
No. I'm going to do it sort of like Butthead style. What's up? You're hot. Now that we're done playing Love Connection, jeez.
Remember,
hope all your dates are good ones tonight.
Hey, Get her out to Las Vegas in summer. No, I shouldn't say that. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay, Greg.
Now remember, Peter Lawford, he needed the money to be on this pilot.
When did Peter Lawford turn into the white Jimmy Walker?
Jimmy Walker hadn't done Good Times yet, Mike.
But you're using money in that sort of tone of voice, that vernacular.
He needed the money.
Well, he did need the money.
The Rat Pack was done at this point.
Yeah, like I said, the Rat Pack, well, maybe it wasn't done, but it was dying, or at least, let's say, Peter Lawford, he wasn't the major force in the Rat Pack. It was still Frank and Dean and Sammy and Bing.
Joey was in the Rat Pack, not Bing. What the fuck?
Oh, well, Joey's even worse. I mean, now Peter Lawford is the fourth best out of the five. I think I'd rather have Bing in there with his sweet Valencia oranges, which were used to be thrown at Cesar Romero's ass. But anyhow, like I said...
Look, if we didn't have Joey, we wouldn't have Regis. Let's remember this.
Okay, fair point. But still, Peter Lawford wasn't like the third wheel in the Rat Pack. He was like, I said, the fourth wheel. He was below Sammy and Frank and Dean, but he was above Joey. Did Frank ever have to get on a game show? No. Did Dean? No. Sammy did. Well, he was on Tattletales, but that was a big thing back in the 70s. And Joey Bishop, he was on game shows. He was sort of trying to find that money back in like 76. He was on quite a few weeks of Break the Bank back in 76. Oh, 50th anniversary this year. I love that show. But anyhow, enough about the Rat Pack. Enough about Peter Lawford. Enough about oranges. The partner with Peter Lawford was Myron Potios, or Potios. He was a linebacker, and at this time, he would have been on the Los Angeles Rams, if we're talking late 70. He did go to the Redskins in 71, but he started his career in 1961 with the Steelers. Three-time Pro Bowler. His sack numbers are low, but also sacks weren't officially recorded as a stat till, I believe, like 72 or so.
Yeah.
Because he only has 10 sacks. He did have 12 interceptions in his career. Well, that's not bad for a linebacker. So they got a decent name in John Hadel. They got maybe a mid-tier linebacker in Myron Potios. I don't know if they could have gotten Dick Butkus. He would have been pretty big at that time. I'm trying to think of other defensive players they could have used. But regardless, those are our teams. And the host of the show, they really kept this football-centric. The host of the show is Jerry Kramer, Hall of Fame right guard for the Green Bay Packers. And I should add that Myron Potios is still with us at the age of 87. Actually, just celebrated a birthday a little over 2 weeks ago. So happy 87th to Myron Potios.
Well, you know what that means, Mike.
Oh, God, no.
In 2008, he had a nice birthday.
Yeah, he's not wrong, but that was a bit of a stretch. But anyhow, Jerry Kramer, right guard for the Green Bay Packers, was on the championship teams of the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowls 1 and 2, and he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer too. 3-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, NFL champion 5 times. That's a pretty good resume. And he's still with us at the age of 90. And actually, as of the time we're recording this, his 90th birthday was last Friday.
Oh, that's terrific.
And I know there's not many living players from those first couple of Super Bowl winning teams, because we did lose Bart Starr a number of years ago, and Max McGee, the big wide receiver for that team, he passed away, I do believe, maybe like 20 years ago. I thought it was quite a bit of time since he passed. Ray Nitschke, I know he passed like in 2003, I want to say.
Yeah.
Well, because I have a football card of his, a swatch card, numbered 1 out of 75, and it's got to be a real piece of his jersey, because unlike nowadays when Panini just throws in any old random jersey. They actually put like pride in their work, so that might actually be a piece from a real Ray Nitschke jersey.
But I got to mention, on the other side of the coin, we did lose Len Dawson a number of years ago.
Yeah, we did. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It was sometime in the 2020s. So those are the personnel involved with this show, the host and the celebrities and the football players. As I said, the way this is played is that each team that had control with the ball, sort of like football, trying to keep it all football-centric, they're given a situation from an actual football game. And the football games that were used were the St. Louis Cardinals against the Washington Redskins in September 27th of 1970, and the St. Louis Cardinals against the New York Giants in October 25th of 1970. So I wonder, since we talked about Padios was on the Redskins at the time, if his team got the Giants clips, while the team with John Hadel, their team always got the Redskins clips. Obviously, there'd be a little advantage since one of the people actually played in that game. Can't be showing Padios footage of his Redskins playing. Oh, I remember that play. Yeah, that just doesn't fly. Well, it doesn't fly nowadays, but that definitely doesn't fly 11 or 12 years after the game show scandals, even if this is a pilot. So the team that was in control was given a situation from one of these games, and Jerry Kramer gave them 3 possible plays. They tried to then pick the play that actually happened, and then the play was actually shown, and picking the correct play gave that team 3 points, and they kept control, but an incorrect play, they got no points, and control passed to the other team. However, if the correct play was a touchdown, the team got 6 points, and the opposition took control. So again, you can see the football mechanics there. 3 points if they make the right call, but 6 points if the right call ends up being a touchdown. And then the team that had the most points by the end of the game won $500 worth of football gear that was donated to a boys club in the winning football players' city. And the winning team was also invited back the following week, in air quotes since this is a pilot, and they're going to face 2 new challengers. How about this for the 2 new challengers for this next game? Dustin Hoffman and Johnny Unitas.
That's a big get. And that is also a big get.
Well, I think Johnny Unitas was like the really big get of the 2. Admittedly, Dustin Hoffman, he did have The Graduate at that time. I don't think he's the name that we would know 2 years later, 5 years later, 55 years later.
Well, hold on. He is coming off Midnight Cowboy right now, Dustin Hoffman.
Okay, so he had Midnight Cowboy and, as I said, The Graduate. So, again, he's elevating his star status, but, yeah, he really doesn't hit the superstardom, I would say, for, again, another 2 to 5 years. And then after that, outside of Ishtar, I don't think there's anything he could do wrong.
What do you mean outside of Ishtar? You know Ishtar is a classic, Mike.
I'll let you back up those statements. No, I insist. Go. How's Ishtar a classic?
Because it's Ishtar.
That's not a compelling argument.
We all know that Greg historically has zero taste.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
I saw Ishtar when I was a little kid. I still don't get that shit.
Well, I think there's a reason why it's such a bomb, because I don't think Little Chico was the only person who didn't understand it.
I will watch Speed Racer again before I watch Ishtar.
Hold on a second. Are we talking about Speed Racer the movie or Speed Racer the cartoon?
Speed Racer the movie.
I think you can make a case for either one, to be honest. I never liked Speed Racer the cartoon. I'm sorry.
Hey, I would rather watch Ishtar than Megalopolis. I'm just going to say that right now.
You're just pulling out all the winners. What the heck is Megalopolis?
Oh, you don't want to know, Mike. You don't want to fucking know.
No, I pulled the Band-Aid off. What is Megalopolis?
No, Mike, trust me. You don't want to know what this is.
Do not make me Google this and find out on my own.
Trust me,
you're forcing my hand here, Greg.
No, I don't want you to know. You can go the rest of your life without knowing, and you'll be fine. Just don't worry about it.
What the hell is this? I love this. I did the search for Megalopolis against Greg's wishes, and one of the AI questions that's being posed by Google is, why don't people like Megalopolis? I mean, seriously, that's the first question. People also ask, why don't people like Megalopolis? Incoherent plot, pretentious tone, inconsistent visuals, and underdeveloped characters. Okay, we have all 4 of those here on this podcast, yet people still listen to us 6.5 years later. What are they talking about Cesar Romero and oranges for? I don't get it. Why does Mike have to sound like a total asshole?
Could you imagine if somebody made a movie version of this podcast?
I would love to see that. Because I would love to know who's playing the 3 of us. Okay, we know Chico's being played by Idris Elba. Let's just get that out of the way right now.
That's true.
But who's playing me and you?
Oh, I'm easy. You could get Matt Damon to play me. Think about the irony of a Bostonian like Matt Damon playing a Long Island boy.
Hold on. Matt Damon?
I hear he has a thing for Long Islanders.
But enough about the penises of the hockey players on New York, their hockey team.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a heated rivalry joke, Mike. I was going to be like, how dare you?
Oh, no. I only became aware of heated rivalry earlier this week. No, I'm not making any jokes about heated rivalry.
No. And you know what? Good for the LGBT community to have a show like that for them. Good for them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thoroughly. Oh gosh.
Amused.
No. I don't want to. I'm trying to phrase this the right way. Well, I'm glad for them because they're actually watching people who know how to handle their sticks. Anyhow, no, the person, and I'm not joking about this, Greg, and I thought of this when I saw this the last couple of nights watching Jeopardy. If you've seen Steven Olsen, he looks like you. I'm sure Chico knows who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I see a lot of Steven Olsen in Greg.
Nothing against Steven Olsen. I love his gameplay. He was an awesome watch, but he's not going to put butts in seats.
Thank you, Tony Schiavone. Now, Mike, who would play you in the movie?
How about the ghost of Cesar Romero? Why the fuck not? I was going to go with like some pretty boy actor like Brad Pitt or something like that, but I'd want to keep it like as real as possible. Actually, I've had students actually tell me this. Now, admittedly, this is 20 years ago, but they're like, has anybody ever said that you look like Jack Black? And it's like, no, because I don't look anything like Jack Black even 20 years ago.
You should have said, I was never in a commercial for Pitfall on Atari 2600.
But damn it, I played that Pitfall for the 2600 like you wouldn't believe. Oh, that's a great Atari 2600 game. Oh, yeah, spoiler for next week when we get to episode 608, because we're going to try and keep in a lot of the conversation that we had in the fumbled recording last week. And we do get into talking about Atari games. But enough about that. And also enjoy trying to make the connection between what we were supposed to cover last week and Atari games. You might get there somehow. But anyhow, getting back to this. So as I said, the new challengers would be Dustin Hoffman and Johnny Unitas. Dustin Hoffman, we all know, and we still know 55 years later. Johnny Unitas, for the youngins out there, probably the best player in Baltimore Colts history.
Mike, some kid's going to be saying to themselves, wait, the Colts played somewhere other than Indianapolis?
It's true. Read about the Mayflower moving vans coming one day in 1984. And also, let's remember, John Elway was drafted by the Colts. So you could have had the Indianapolis Colts in 1984 with John Elway. Alas, he goes to Denver, ruins the hopes and dreams of Cleveland Browns fans everywhere in the late 80s, and gets to the Hall of Fame.
Now, Mike, do you know why John Elway did not want to play for the Colts?
Was it something to do with his baseball career?
Well, that, and also, who was the head coach of the Baltimore Colts in 1983?
Oh, I don't remember. I wasn't really paying attention to the Baltimore Colts back then.
It was Frank Kush, who used to be the head coach at Arizona State. And where did John Elway's dad used to coach? Stanford.
I was going to say, John Elway played at Stanford, so that's what I was going to guess. Okay, that makes sense. A little bit of old-time Pac-10 rivalry, or would that have been Pac-8 back then?
Oh, West Coast football in the 60s and 70s is all like,
It's weird. But anyhow, Johnny Unitas, in case you don't know, another Hall of Fame quarterback, passed away, almost 24 years ago, 2002. I knew it was a long time ago. I didn't know it was that long. He won Super Bowl V, which actually would have been won like around this time, because again, we said this is like 70, 71. Super Bowl V would have been in 71. He won titles in 58, 59, and 68. 3-time MVP for the NFL. 5-time first-team All-Pro. 10-time Pro Bowler. Member of the 50th anniversary team, 75th anniversary team, 100th anniversary team. Like I said, Hall of Famer. Just an absolute legend. And if money was no object, Greg, he had an autograph card a couple of years before he died. I think it was like 99. I think it was a dual signed Donruss card or Donruss branded card, whatever different brands they had back in the day. I think it was him and Peyton Manning.
oh,
Sort of like passing the torch because they're both Colts quarterbacks. And I think it was on Elite because Elite tended to do that where they did passing the torch where you had some prior star at the same position or went to the same college or played for the same pro team. So that would be a nice fit. Peyton Manning in his second year and a Johnny Unitas signature on the same card. I'm sure those go for thousands, not even joking. Too rich for my blood. Oh, it's way too rich for my blood. As of the time of this edit, there's one on eBay. $10,000. Nope. But also, since we're 1 month through the year, I have not spent a single penny on cards this year. I am very proud of myself. I've spent more money this year on stupid slides of Cesar Romero holding oranges than I have on trading cards this year. I am very proud of myself. Well, I had to save money after buying a new car in mid-December. It cost a little more than I wanted to, but I love my new car. Hey, that's our advertisement. We're not going to advertise any sort of right-wing conspiracy podcast. We're not going to advertise boner pills. We're going to just sit here and listen to Mike gawk over his 2026 Honda CR-V. Oh, it's a nice car. That's the pitch line for the 2026 Honda CR-V. Oh, it's a nice car. With all the cold temperatures over the last week, I love the heated seats. I have a toasty ass, and I love every minute of it, and I'm not shy to say that. And I've even told my dad that. The best thing about this car is the heated seats, my nice toasty ass. That's the other pitch line for the 2026 Honda CR-V. The heated seats, oh my toasty ass.
Now, I should note that this pilot aired twice on GSN in the late 90s. It aired in 1998 as part of their Thanksgiving Turkeys pilot marathon. And then it aired in 1999 as part of their Super Game Sunday marathon in the lead up to Super Bowl 33.
And sadly, I was looking online to find videos of this. I didn't go to Web Archive. The only thing I saw on YouTube was somebody had the fourth segment up, like the last 5 minutes of the show.
I'm going to guess maybe NFL Films claimed copyright on the other parts.
You know, that's very possible. I know they're very possessive about that type of stuff. So what can we say about Monday Night Quarterback? Yes, Bob Stewart tried striking while the iron was really hot when you had the merger of the AFL and the NFL. But unfortunately, it was just not a good game. It was just predicting calls. And I understand that in 1970, the NFL coverage wasn't as wide as it is nowadays with ESPN and NFL Network and Sunday Ticket and games on the major networks and whatnot. But Monday Night Quarterback just was bland and maybe thankfully just became a thing on TV. You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time.
I got a question. Have you ever wanted to know the hidden talents of the NFL's star players?
First off, there's one star football player in what we're going to cover next time. So don't say the star players of the NFL. There's one star. But to answer your question, no.
Exactly. No. But you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about Who's Harry Crumb next time, right here on It Was a Thing on TV. I'm Greg. That was Mike. That was Chico. And we'll see you with our next episode coming later this week. Wow!
Sip and Save Beer presents You Make the Call. After blocking and recovering the fourth quarter punt, the replacement Bills are called for having 13 men on the field. However, the replacement Patriots themselves have 17 men on the field. Do the penalties offset? Or are the Patriots penalized more for having more extra men? You make the call. The answer after this word from Sip and Save Beer.
Sip and Save Beer. Why pay more?
After a consultation, the officials decide to charge the Patriots 10 yards for each extra man on the field. However, the penalty is reduced after subtracting 10 yards for each extra bill. The Patriots are penalized 30 yards. This has been Sip and Save's You Make the Call.
Boy, I hope all the Patriots go on the field against the Seahawks. Yeah, being penalized 340 yards. Why am I speaking like an Australian? Hey, Aussie Rules football season's coming up very soon, so maybe that's why I'm doing that.
Oh, cool. I could use something in addition to watching Major Arena Soccer on the one channel on Plex.
Not even kidding, Greg. Whenever they start showing Australian Rules football, it's on sometime late at night on Saturdays/Sunday mornings, sometime between the hours of generally like midnight and 7 a.m. So if you have insomnia on any given Saturday, starting probably around March or February, well, actually, we're going to be in February when this gets released, but sometime in the Aussie Rules football season, turn on FS2 in the middle of the night on Saturday/Sunday morning. You're going to find Aussie Rules football. Go Geelong Cats. There we go. I pissed off all the Aussie Rules football fans. How dare you be a fan of the Geelong Cats?
How to spank Australian. Beer. Foster's Australian for beer.
Are they going to get the kicking boot out and kick Bart in the butt?
Sure. Might as well.